What does the misinformation effect have to do with you? Well, under certain circumstances, we will accept and embrace false information as being part of our memory, rather than coming from an external source. The misinformation effect happens when our memory about an event becomes mildly or severely impaired because of the information that we received afterwards, and in consequence, we can no longer recall that event correctly. Psychologists check if they manage to plant a misleading information in minds of participants in 3 steps. They show an event to the participants, they expose them to a misleading information, and they ask participants about their memory of an event to check if it's correct or not. Over the years, scientists managed to successfully plant whole, detailed events, so-called rich false memories, into the human mind. Scary, right? For example, researchers have been able to plant a false memory that the subject as a child had been a victim of a vicious animal attack, and even a memory about nearly drowning and being rescued by a lifeguard. A very good example of how far the effects of misinformation can go is shown in the Bugs Bunny in Disneyland fake ad. In the experiment, after viewing the ads, participants formed false memories of how they had met with Bugs, a Warner Brothers character, at Disneyland, which is of course impossible. But is everyone equally susceptible to the misinformation effect? Well, young children and the elderly are on average more prone to the effect than older children and young adults. You are also more susceptible if you are under hypnosis or under the influence of drugs. Also, with passage of time comes weakening of the memory, and if the original memory is weakened, there is lesser chance of noticing. So where does the original memory go to? McCloskey and Zaragoza put forward the idea that misinformation effect has no effect whatsoever on the memory for the original event, but that it simply leads participants to produce a second suggested response. The misinformation effect can also arise when we can recall both original and misleading information, but after some deliberation, we conclude that the misleading information must be correct, for example, because someone else is convinced about the false information. The real-life implications of the misinformation effect are quite significant. For instance, sometimes when the police or lawyers or even journalists question eyewitnesses, they can accidentally change the memory of the eyewitness, which can result in a faulty testimony in court.